Imagine hearing an odd sound that can't be explained. Or seeing a shadowy figure move, but no one is there. A light flickers. You feel a cold breath on your neck.
Is it your imagination? Or is it real? (1863), Virginia City, Montana. Hundreds of people are murdered in this lawless frontier town. Even the sheriff is hanged.
Chris and Jana think that Virginia City is a real ghost town because every house is haunted. Tonight, they dare each other to stay until midnight in the two most haunted places in the ghost town called Virginia City. November 2000, Syracuse, New York. 14-year-old Joe writes and directs
amateur horror movies, but the movie Joe is about to make isn't fiction. In fact, what happens in his newest film is very real. Tonight, Joe directs and stars in his first real-life horror film, The 13 Curves. These are the real stories of actual encounters with the bizarre and the unknown. These are real, scary stories. In the winter, the population of Virginia City drops to about 100,
if you don't count the dead.
Virginia City is definitely haunted.
Definitely, I think this town is haunted.
The majority of people that have lived here have seen ghosts.
There's been numerous sightings in Virginia City.
I'm Jana and I live in a haunted town.
The whole place is haunted.
Virginia City is kind of in the middle of nowhere. Our closest town is Bozeman, and it's like 60 miles away. So we're kind of isolated, I guess you could say. There's only about 100 people that live here during the winter, and so it kind of gets a really eerie feeling.
This whole town has a history of murder and violence, and I think that's why things are unsettled here.
Gold was discovered here May 26, 1863. With the coming of a large number of prospectors, the crime was out of control.
More than a murder a day happening on the streets here.
The local citizens took the law into their own hands.
Started hanging bad guys.
Everyone that was murdered back then just kind of hangs around here.
This town seems to have spirits, I would think, in just about every building.
The Ellings House, the Bonanza Inn, the Bonanza House, the Lightning Splitter, they're all haunted.
You hear stories, it can't be disputed. There's a lot of spirits here.
The scariest place in my town is the Ellings House.
The Elling House was built by Henry Elling, the banker of town.
The story is that he killed all of his family, everyone in different rooms in a different way.
The house sat empty for 40 years. No one lived there.
For years now, all the kids in Virginia City have always seen a man standing in the very top window. We think that it's Mr. Elling.
I was talked into going into the Elling House by my older brother, and me and a friend of mine, James, went in there and explored the place. And I walked into a room, came back out, and he disappeared. So I spent a half an hour in the house walking around looking for him, heard a scream, and an eerie fingernails on chalkboard noise. Something was clawing at the walls. Finally got to the point where I was so scared that I just huddled up in a corner and sat there and waited. And a little while later, my friend and his older brother came into the house and found me in a corner. And I have not been back in the house alone since.
It's a little creepy to be alone in the fair weather.
2 years ago, there was a clerk working, and there was no one in the hotel. There had been no one there for a couple days, and she was sitting at the desk. All of a sudden, she heard banging in the room above her, and there was pounding on the floors, and then she heard something break. So she went upstairs, and all the sheets and blankets were torn off the bed, tables and furniture was knocked over, and there was no sign of anyone in the room whatsoever, and it was locked. Tonight, I'm daring my friend Chris to stay alone in the Elling House till midnight.
And I've dared Jana to stay in the fair weather till midnight.
Now that this dare has been brought up, I'm a little more nervous as it's getting closer, but I'm determined to make it.
At first, Jana was afraid to be in the Fairweather Inn alone.
Then she wished she was.
There's something outside my room, and it's walking.
Chris and Jana dared each other to stay alone in a haunted place. Whoever made it until midnight would walk away the winner if they didn't run away.
I want to go to the weather, dude. And you have to stay in your place. I bet you chicken out. We're gonna do this. Midnight. I'll meet you back here.
Okay.
Chris and I decided to each take in a flashlight, a video camera that had night vision on it, and a candle. Once we got into the building and our designated room that we were gonna stay, that the candle was the only thing that we were gonna have lit. No flashlights until midnight. Okay, this is it. Oh boy. It's dark.
For some reason, the second time going in this house is worse than the first. It's like something out of a horror movie.
It's so cold. Oh, this is room number 10. I know people have seen spirits here. Okay, that was creepy. Oh, okay. I'm in room 10.
This is, well, it's kind of covered up, but that's the window that Mr. Allen looks out, or his ghost looks out.
Light my candle. Says light. Okay, out with the light. I can see my breath. It's so cold.
Still in the same room, waiting for something to happen.
Okay, I'm gonna watch my candle.
I can't tell you how I'm feeling right now. Want to see something, don't want to see something.
Let's check out the ceiling in this place.
I look pretty cute.
There wasn't much for them to do except wait for something to happen.
Then suddenly, the waiting was over. For Jana.
There's something outside my room, and it's walking. Oh. It's walking. It's walking more. Please don't open my door.
You really want to see a ghost? I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That did not just happen.
Wondering if it's going to come from behind, if it's going to come through the walls, or if it's just going to appear right in front of me.
Please don't open my door. Please don't open. It's walking again.
Wouldn't mind seeing a ghost or something.
I don't hear any more noises. Okay, that was the scariest thing I've heard all night.
kind of glad that nothing actually happened to me. Time's not up yet.
Why is the time going so slow? It's like hours. 30 seconds. I have 30 seconds.
Our chair, our candle. Candle's still going.
I don't want to say it, but I just keep waiting for that doorknob to turn. That's my biggest fear right now. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Clock has struck 12.
It's midnight. I did it. It's midnight.
Take our candle with us so we end our journey.
I know something is outside that door, and I know I have to go outside that door. Okay. I don't think anything's... It's not... Okay. Okay. I'm not seeing anything. Okay. Here we go. I'm coming out. Yes. Finally, getting out of the Fairweather Inn was the most relieving thing. When I heard the walking, it was really creepy. It was so close, and it was, at that point, I was ready to give up. But I had already told myself prior to going in the hotel that no matter what, I was not gonna leave. So if I had to stand there and scream all night, that's what I was gonna do, because I was gonna stay there till midnight.
Did you make it?
I made it.
Are you okay?
Yeah?
I'm so freaked out. I was counting the seconds. Did you see a ghost?
No. Even though I didn't see a ghost, I felt like I had conquered a fear. You have a bad experience, and it's kind of like getting back on a horse after you get bucked off.
There's absolutely no doubt that there was something standing outside my door, and then I felt it leave. There's no doubt in my mind it was there.
Joe likes to write and direct his own horror films, but the horror film he's making now isn't fiction,
and he's in it.
A car accident, a dead bride, a seance.
Joe knew all of the elements of his new horror film, though none of them were under his control.
It is a dangerous stretch of road.
The old-timers, they say they are somewhat intimidated to go down on the 13 curves at night.
I know my mom gets spooked out every time she drives on it because of the legend.
The 7th curve of the 13 curves is called Dead Man's Curve.
And that's where the accident supposedly happened. So, what's your name?
My name's Alexis.
What's your name?
Stephanie.
Okay, I'm getting ready to go out there and make a documentary about 13 curves. We're gonna head out there tonight, and we're gonna be with a psychic and have a seance. I started making movies probably 3 years ago, and I make a lot of more like scary movies. I just got finished making a movie called Bev Rage about an evil can that came to life and like kind of killed people.
The road itself is actually Cedar Vale Road, but they just call it 13 curves because the road has 13 curves on it.
Ever since I've been a rookie, I've heard the legend of the 13 curves. The 7th curve of the 13 curves is called Dead Man's Curve.
And that's where the accident supposedly happened.
There's a legend of the area that a bride was killed on her wedding night, and it's been reported that she has been sighted on certain evenings similar to nights like tonight.
Well, I heard that that the groom was driving and that he was drunk, It was snowy outside, and he slid on some ice and ran into a tree.
The husband, I don't know if he died, but the wife did.
And both parties were killed.
But apparently she did not go on, so she still lingers on the curves and comes out looking for him.
When I was a child, about 12 years of age, I was on a trip with my parents and their friends, and we were on like the 6th or 7th curve, and my father yelled, "You're going to hit that lady," to the driver of the car, and I was sitting between my father and the driver, and I looked right up, and I saw this beautiful lady in a white gown, veil, everything, and she just kind of like floated right through the car. When the ghost bride came through to the car, as she came through, you could feel a coolness.
Well, the reason you feel cold sometimes when there's a spirit around is because they use energy to move. So since they're depleting the heat, it feels colder where they are.
You could feel her presence. You had enough time to know that there was somebody there.
When we first got into the car, it was pretty amazing. The car was a 1941 DeSoto. It was all black, and it looked pretty creepy, I think. You think this car is gonna help attract the ghost?
I hope so, because it's the car they were driving when they got into the car crash.
Right now we're headed to the 7th curve. Are you guys scared at all?
I'm getting there, yes. And it's sort of nerve-wracking because of everything goes.
I'm not sure if I believe in all the seance stuff, and I don't know anyone who's ever been to one. I'm kind of excited to see how one goes.
This is where it happened. 7th curve. Of course, in those days, there was no guardrail here.
All right, so what are you feeling right now?
So just there's a sense of a lot of energy building up in the area in the woods behind us.
Have there been any sightings around here?
Oh, yeah. Quite a few. In fact, God, over in the last 30 years, I've probably talked to 40 or 50 people that have seen the woman. Okay, before we begin, I just want to explain first off that because we're dealing with a spirit, there's no voice box, there's no physical body. So when you hear something, you'll hear it telepathically. You'll hear it in your head like your own voice when you talk to yourself. So it's very important if you hear something, it's possible the rest of us may not hear it. So it's important that you just say to us, "I just heard someone say something." Okay, what we're going to do is join hands and concentrate on opening your energy to any spirit or any entity that may be around and maybe looking for someone to help.
I think it just got colder.
Notice the same thing.
I kind of feel something. Like.
I feel like getting colder. It's getting very cold.
Yes.
It feels like it's in the center of us. I feel a conversation going in my head. I heard a woman say, "Why are you here?" And I said, "We were here to help." I asked her if she could remember any time that anything happened to her that she might have died. So then all of a sudden I heard the word accident very loudly. And just hear a woman. I would just hear someone yell help.
It kind of felt like there was another presence in the car.
It was weird because it felt like she was sitting in the middle of us, trying to get each and every one of ours attention.
Something definitely happened. It might have been a spirit, Did you feel anything?
I felt a lot of stuff. I felt when the cold was coming in, my hands got really numb, and then when it left, my hands were like normal.
It could have been just the wind, but I think whatever came in the car was definitely weird, and I didn't like it.
These are the stories of real people from across the country who have had experiences with the unknown. Tell us your real scary story.
Next, you will learn that your deepest fears,
I know something is outside that door.
your darkest nightmares,
You always feel like someone's reaching out and grabbing you.
Oh my God.
are real. They aren't just real scary stories. They're scary stories that are real.
Oh, God.
The Real Scary Stories Marathon continues with another episode next.
Are you scared?
1800s, St. Francisville, Louisiana. A family is poisoned. 2 little girls die, and a slave girl is killed as punishment. This sets in motion a history of tragic events
that lead many to say the Myrtles plantation is cursed. 200 years later, Aaron and Shalita have come to see if those who died at the Myrtles plantation still haunt the
place where they once lived. 2001, Port Townsend, Washington. 17-year-old Casey works across the street from the haunted
Manresa Castle. For years, he has heard the stories of the ghostly priest who said to roam its halls. When Casey and his friend Joey decide to investigate, they are looking for excitement.
They are not disappointed. These are the real stories of actual encounters with the bizarre and the unknown. These are real, scary stories.
When Aaron and Shalita planned to spend the night at the Myrtles plantation,
they knew its tragic history, and they had heard about a curse. But they didn't know that the rooms where they'd be staying might already be occupied.
Hi, I'm Erin. And I'm Shalita. Children who've been dead for a long time still dwell there. Their spirits are still inside of the house. I know there are approximately around 10 murders that have happened there and 1 suicide. We thought it would be really interesting to go out there and see what would happen and spend the night there.
Girl, what you done got yourself into?
Many things have happened at the Myrtles. Murders, suicides, romance, you know, the whole 9 yards, basically.
Just driving along. No thoughts really about what's gonna happen when I get there.
The Myrtles were founded around the late 1700s.
General David Bradford came here fleeing for his life from Washington troops. It was burial ground for the Tunica Indians, and they were not burying their dead. And he piled those remains to the side and burned them. Because sacred ground was destroyed, a lot of people feel the plantation can't help but be cursed.
Probably the most famous story of the plantation is Chloe, who was a slave at the time. Her master caught her eavesdropping and cut off her ear. Chloe was afraid that she was going to get thrown out of the house, so she decided to put poison in a birthday cake, and the whole family was going to eat it. And then she would be able to nurse them back to health and therefore stay in the house. Well, Chloe accidentally over-poisoned the family and killed the wife and 2 children. She was later hung and now supposedly haunts the house, and so do the 2 little girls. You may hear children laughing and playing when there are no children there.
I stayed here the night before Halloween. Woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning or so. Very cold feeling is what woke me up. And I noticed a little girl about the age of 5 or 6 in a white dress jumping on the edge of my bed. Thought it was a dream until the next morning at breakfast, I heard another woman describing the exact same incident. And that's when I realized I had had a little ghost in my room.
One of the waitresses in the restaurant came in one day and she said, "What is this?" And she showed this picture to me that definitely looks like it has a lady standing between 2 of the buildings. And I said, "I don't know." I said, "She wasn't there when I took the picture."
In order to analyze the mysterious image, Tito Moss had the photograph enlarged.
The results shocked her.
Every dimension was of human characteristic. Every one. She's in the house servant's dress, and she has on a turban. And then up on the roof of the house are the two children.
The dimensions in the photo are consistent with the human form. Aaron and Shalita are about to
learn that fear is larger than life.
When Aaron and Shalita set out to visit the Myrtles plantation, they had planned a short stay. It was about to turn
into a long night for the restless and the dead.
There's another story of William Winter who one night went down the stairs to answer the door and was shot in the chest. He climbed up 17 of the 22 steps and died on the 17th step. Now you can hear William Winter climbing the steps to the 17th step, and then it stops.
I was house sitting one night, spent the night here with a friend of mine, and we were sleeping in the bedroom at the top of the stairs. And we heard footsteps coming up the stairs, heavy footsteps. We never heard them go anywhere else in the house, never heard them go back down the stairs, and it was unexplainable. There was no one else in the house the next morning when we woke up.
The footsteps and the voices and words and songs. You know you're not alone. Spirits can, of course, move objects. They can throw things across the room. They can try to scare you out of an area, or they can try to lure you in.
Shalita and I are definitely going to be walking right into the unexplained and not knowing what's going to happen to us.
I know I'm going to be afraid.
Looking into stuff that's unexplained is definitely something I'm up for. I'm always open to learn new things, and I really think that makes you who you are, is how you've experienced things and how you've dealt with it. You're walking up that drive, and it's foggy, and you don't know what's out there.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Too late to turn back. Yeah.
We came up to the house, and walking up the stairs, you really feel like you're getting transported back into that time.
Hi.
We met Hester. She was going to give us a little bit of background on the Myrtles, some more stuff that we haven't learned before.
Used to be the children's.
We were shown to our rooms.
The dolls are in this room, and those dolls.
We had one question for Hester. Is there going to be anybody else staying here tonight?
It's just the two of you, ladies.
After we finally got settled in, we decided we were going to go on a tour of the house by ourselves and do a little more in-depth exploring.
It's just that it's kind of.
We came to the dining room where Chloe poisoned the family. You see anything?
No, listening actually.
Yeah. Still really don't like that picture.
I know.
Still don't like that
looking at
picture.
those eyes.
Freaky a little bit, just a tad.
I'm getting really bad chill again. But did you hear that? It's like walking.
Oh my God.
I'm serious.
I know, I heard it too.
Wait, and as soon as we tried to listen, it stopped. I don't know what. I have no idea what that was. So we decided to go up the stairs again to see if that's where it was coming from, or if anybody or anything was up there.
1, 2, 15, 16, 17. Okay. 17th step, we get there. Really bad chill. Somebody died right here. You know, it's kind of hard to imagine that. And then you have this guy in this picture over here smirking at you, basically.
After exploring the places known for ghostly activity,
Aaron and Shalita returned to their rooms. Their rooms weren't nearly as safe as they had hoped.
We decided we were going to do little intervals. I'd wake up on the hour and she'd wake up on the half hours. So I'm hearing footsteps through a closed door that's supposedly supposed to be locked. So my first thought is to go get Shalita. So I grab my camera and I haul Bud.
The girls could find no explanation for the noises. Erin tried to conquer her fears and went back to her own bed.
My door rattled. It did it like 3 times or twice, so. I'm like, I'm moving out. I had to go back. I, in a way, was kind of proving something to myself that I wasn't going to be scared. When it's happening, you're going through your head and you're saying, what is going on? Why are there footsteps? At first you just brush it off as somebody's out there, but then you remember nobody's in here with you. And it just goes through your head and you freak. Everything stops and you stop breathing, you stop, thinking, you're listening and you're wondering and you realize, okay, you need to do something about it and either you move or you're gonna have something happen to you. There's definitely paranormal activity going on here. It's creepy, it's interesting, and yeah, twice something rattled my door pretty bad, but I'm happy that I came and I'm happy that I had that experience, even though it freaked me out for a while.
Is the ghost of a Jesuit priest making a dark pilgrimage
Through the halls of Manresa Castle. In the early 1900s, a Jesuit priest died by his own hand in the attic of Manresa Castle. In the year 2001,
2 local teens searched this Port Townsend landmark for the ghostly figure that guests say reaches out from beyond the grave.
After witnessing what I witnessed last night, I will never spend the night here again.
There are enough strange things that go on here that make me believe that there is some kind of force at work.
Something is definitely up here with us right now.
I wouldn't stay up there. No way.
This is the scariest place I've ever been.
My name's Joey, and last night my friend Casey and I stayed overnight in a haunted castle.
I've heard the stories that Manresa is haunted since I was really little.
This place is full of surprises.
Things that typically happen here are that people hear footsteps at night on the 3rd floor, and what is strange is that there's nothing on the 4th floor above them.
I used to do the maid work upstairs. A lot of times, you just get the feeling somebody's watching you, You stand up, turn around, nobody's there.
Usually around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, the pictures will fall off the wall. There's no vibration, no reason for it to happen.
I work at a grocery store across the street from the castle. I had heard stories about it being haunted, and I've always wanted to spend the night in there. So I emailed Real Scary Stories, and they gave me the opportunity to check it out for myself.
The Manresa Castle was built in 1892 as Port Townsend's largest private residence by the town's first mayor, a German gentleman called Charles Eisenbeiss. And when he died, the place was empty for about 20 years. The Jesuit priests bought the place in the 20s. It was used by the priests until 1968.
I had heard that a priest had hung himself in the turret room up in the attic, and he's just kind of stayed here ever since.
There was one night that stands out in my mind when I was staying there that things began to happen. Lights were coming on and turning off for no reason. That's when I became aware that actually there was this spirit in my room that was doing these things.
When lights are turned on and off, or sounds are heard, footsteps walking, or a door closing, or they're making a commotion, they want you to be aware of them.
The creepiest place in the castle, I think I'm gonna name two: the basement and the turret room in the attic.
When you go in the attic and you stand in the turret area, it's like a vortex. I completely lose my equilibrium.
I think we both knew that the attic was gonna be the most exciting place.
Okay. I don't know what's gonna happen when I go up there. I'm just really nervous.
You gotta try new things as you get older, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spend the night here.
Casey and Joey noticed the castle was empty of guests.
At least those that you can see.
Casey and I arrived at the castle. The castle's huge. It's like 4 stories.
Oh, geez. Oh, wow. I do not want to go in here.
We went in the basement where we walked into this big room that had ceilings that must have been 5 feet high and big metal pipes going across, and it was just basically dirt. Gosh, it's like a graveyard or something.
There's this big crack down in the corner, and Joey actually went under there.
You know, I'm really expecting to find something. Nothing else down there. Whoa, check this out. It's a rat skeleton. Look at that.
Casey and Joey might laugh at the skeleton of a rat in the basement, but they won't
laugh when they find out what's lurking in the attic.
Casey and Joey are about to learn that the priest has an eerie way of making
his presence known.
We were definitely excited about going up in the attic because something was most likely to happen.
Very interested.
That's where the hanging took place.
Oh, it's freezing up here.
We came into the turret room. You look up at the ceiling, it's like an upside-down ice cream cone, basically. This is where the monk, the priest, this is where he hanged himself. This is the spot right here. It's definitely a scary place. It's cold and lonely feeling. Okay. Lantern in between us right here. This is just unbelievably lonely, and it's like you're dead. Something's going on up here. It's gotta be rain.
Oh my God, the lantern went out. We're sitting up here in the dark. Oh God. Okay.
You know what?
Oh, sit down. I'm freaking out here, Joey.
Gosh.
Oh. There's tapping or something coming from the other side.
See with the camera over there. Oh my God. Hello?
Something's just walking there. Oh, God. So scares me.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I wouldn't have went back up in that attic for anything at that point. That was pretty much the most frightening thing I've ever experienced in my life.
I wasn't scared like horror movie scared. I was scared like this is strange and new and I'd never seen this before. Scared. It was trying to show Casey and I that what he's been trying to show other people, which is that he's still here in Manresa Castle.
Frederick, Maryland. Agnes is buried alive in the walls of a colonial mansion.
In 1958, the building is converted into a school, yet Agnes remains entombed. Tonight, 17-year-old Aaron attempts to reach through the wall that separates the living and the dead, the wall that separates Aaron and Agnes.
1993, Grand Island, New York.
4-year-old CJ met a ghost at a Grand Island hotel. To see her again, he'll spend the night in the haunted hotel and wait for the ghost who lives in room 347.
1859, Bodie, California. Waterman S. Bodie strikes gold, but dies before he can cash in.
Many believe that whoever tries to steal from Bodie will be cursed for life. Now, 2 teenagers take a risk by taking a piece of Bodie.
These are the real stories of actual encounters with the bizarre and the unknown. These are real, scary stories. This year, all of the 17-year-olds at St. John's School will graduate, except for one. Agnes is being held back inside the wall.
My name is Erin Lee. I'm 17, and my school is haunted. She's always there. Sometimes you can feel her.
Agnes is our resident ghost.
She's a very intimate part of this building.
She was a servant in the house when she was murdered.
She was buried alive in this wall.
I am convinced that something is here.
I'm a senior at St. John's at Prospect Hall, a private Catholic school in Frederick, Maryland.
It's an old building, you know. It's a creepy old building.
The story is told that Agnes, who was an indentured Irish servant girl,
she worked for the Delaney family. She fell in love with their youngest son. Obviously, the father thought this was not suitable. He sent his son to England for schooling.
This is when Agnes was immured alive.
I know she's up here and active at times because she turns lights on and off and opens doors and shuts them.
She turned all the computers in my computer room off one day. There's no way just the computers in a room can go off without the lights and the Coke machine out in the hallway. And I was in a room with 15 computers and they went off, but nothing else went off.
I want to spend a night in the mansion because I've heard stories from faculty members and headmasters who have spent the night here, and they refuse to go and spend another night there, and they won't say why. All my friends knew I was going to be spending the night here in the mansion. Don't die, Aaron! And they were all asking me if I would give them my stuff when I didn't come back. And that made me a little nervous, but I tried to ignore it.
Aaron enlists the help of psychic Kaylin Keith. Ms. Keith has no prior knowledge of Agnes or the story of her death.
But I'm really interested in this. It's very sad energy, something that's not been resolved. Lives are not meant to end the way this one ended.
I think she's trying to resolve in her own mind something horrendous that happened to her in life.
And with that buried in the wall, she tried to make her presence known, to no avail.
Tonight, Agnes makes her presence known. Agnes has spent every night for the past 200 years trapped inside the mansion walls. Tonight is Erin's first night in the mansion, and her last.
The upstairs attic area used to be servants' quarters, and so we assume that's where her bedroom was. That's where she thinks she lives.
Honestly, I'd like to think of myself as a courageous person, but right now I'm starting to doubt that.
After the psychic came, I went around and I did some scouting at the house myself. Agnes? Agnes, are you here?
I think I could feel Agnes at certain points. It got colder and I felt something.
I was asleep and the school bell went off and I don't know why. So I went downstairs to check it all out and everything seemed okay. But when I went to the box where the bell switches are, I tried ringing them and they didn't work. Seems to be unplugged. So you can't ring them when they're unplugged, so I plugged them back in. And it was unplugged when we came down here. And it's still not. Okay. And I came back upstairs to make sure everything upstairs was okay. And I saw a very strange light. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was something. It was a white light with a tail. I am very scared, but it's just really weird.
Agnes calls out to Erin again.
I'm really scared right now. I know it's not bad and she's not trying to hurt me or anything. It's just really scary. The plug for the bells was unplugged again, and I know I plugged it in. It was a very interesting night. I've always believed in ghosts. I believed in them, but when it was happening, I couldn't believe it was happening. I hope that the future students of this school will pass on the story of Agnes and what happened to her. She wasn't just a servant, and she wasn't expendable. We acknowledge her, and we know that she's there.
Some people who visit Bodie leave with pleasant memories of their trip.
We thought it'd be fun to go to Bodie.
Others leave with a piece of Bodie and regret it for the rest of their lives.
We thought it would be fun, but we were wrong.
7 years ago, CJ stayed at a Grand Island hotel. While he was there, he made friends with a girl named Tanya.
CJ was only 4 years old then, and Tanya was dead.
I'm CJ. I'm 11 years old, and when I was 4, I saw a real ghost. we were at this hotel. I woke up at 3 in the morning. I heard like this voice saying, "Do you want to play?" And I looked up and I saw my toys floating around the room.
He woke up like screaming and crying, "Mom, just playing with my toys."
If you were 4 and you see a ghost, you have to be scared. If you're not, you're like Superman or something. I looked up again to see if she was still there, and my toys just dropped to the floor, and then I saw her face for just like 5 seconds and then it disappeared.
At this point, I wasn't thinking a ghost. I was thinking my son had a nightmare, something upset him terribly.
In the morning, I saw my toys on the floor and I showed my mom that I wasn't dreaming.
What made me call the hotel was, my son never acted like that before. And they were like, "Well, what your son saw was a ghost. Her name was Tanya." And I'm on the other end of the line going, I can't believe I'm having this conversation.
I live in one of the rooms. Every night I would hear small footsteps over my head, like running down the hallway or running down the hallway on my floor. And finally I called down to the desk one night late, like midnight or so, and asked the desk clerk, "Who do you have above me?" And the desk clerk told me, "Mr. Demme, there's nobody in your wing of the hotel. You might want to over there."
We had an occasion of my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. We rented the main dining room. You could clearly see Tanya in the picture. You can see her eyes, you can see her mouth, you can see her nose. You can see her, I believe it's a hat or a bonnet. I believe she is holding a doll. I didn't see the ghost in the picture when I took it. And obviously at dinner we would have all been out of there in a hurry.
I do want to go back to that hotel. I'm very interested to see if she is still there and if she might ask me the same thing that she did 7 years ago.
This is Grand Island we're on, and it's got quite a bit of history here. The hotel is right over there. It's only about a couple of 100 yards. There was a house over there. There have been a number of buildings. A sawmill, that burned back in the 1800s. A restaurant that burned about 1960. We can't find any real little girl who actually died in a fire there. Doesn't mean there couldn't have been someone, though.
How you doing? 347. You're on your own, guys. Here's the key. Good night.
CJ! Something just moved. There's nothing back there, CJ. Are you ready to sleep? Sounded like footsteps outside the... She's probably not even going to show up.
There's no other explanation for these footsteps.
Died in a fire there.
In the picture we can very clearly see Tanya.
What your son saw was a ghost.
She might have come when we were sleeping.
I'm pretty sure that she was here, but she wasn't, showing herself.
She's still out there somewhere in this hotel.
She could be, right behind us.
I've heard the footsteps. I've heard many, many stories, and I really have no doubts that Tanya does exist.
You've got to believe, seeing this, that there is something else that we don't totally understand.
I'm going to tell you a story that sounds totally unbelievable, but it's true, and it happened to us.
We heard about this deserted old town in California called Bodie.
It was a gold mining town back in the 1800s.
Now it's a ghost town, and it's totally deserted.
One day the people just left. They left their buildings, they left their stuff, and just took off.
1962, Bodie became a state historic park, and it's
stays just as you see it today. The official word is state of arrested decay. Bodie is protected by law, but it's also protected by something else.
And that's when we found out about the curse.
If you take something from Bodie and you take it home with you, you have bad luck.
We thought it'd be fun to go to Bodie to find out more about the town and about the curse.
We thought it would be fun, but we were wrong.
Hello, welcome to Bodie.
Hi.
Bodie is known for gold. It was one of the richest strikes in the West. Well, there was a man by the name of Waterman S. Bodie that came up through this area about 1850. He discovered some gold down in the Mono Lake area. Unfortunately for Mr. Bodie, on his way out to gather up supplies, he was caught in a major blizzard and died.
Was this right after he, founded this hole?
Well, Bodie never even realized that the town was here.
We thought that it was weird that the guy who founded Bodie and discovered gold there died before he could even cash in.
Maybe he was cursed.
The word got out that Bodie's discovery, so people started showing up, and lo and behold, they started finding gold.
One day, there was nothing there. All of a sudden, a couple of months later, you've got thousands of people. They want that gold. They want money. They want riches. They're going to do anything for it. And that's where the curse comes in.
The crowd that it drew, people that were out of jobs, they were rough and tumble. So there's a lot of bad man history here.
Was born in Bodie, yeah. My granddad, he came here and took up mining. A lot of shootings going on around the saloons and stuff, you know. It was a tough place.
Do you think maybe part of the curse could be maybe all the people who died here could be protecting this town, because they lived here?
Could very well be. Could very well be. It is one of the largest, most well-preserved ghost towns that exists anywhere. We receive letters. My luck has turned so bad since I took this item from Bodie that I want to return it to get whatever this curse is off my back.
Well, it was right around 1972 when I came here with my mom, my dad, and my sister. And we found a bed with dollar bills and change, and I found a stick. And her and I decided to maneuver some change and money off the bed and into our hands, which later became ice cream money. Shortly afterwards, I started feeling the effects of the Bodie curse. Money problems, losing jobs, not being able to buy a home. We own nothing.
What do you think about us maybe taking something?
If you do take something and something does follow you, you will know it.
So you feel that there is a chance?
Oh, I feel there's a real good chance that something's going to follow you home.
We thought the Rangers were trying to scare us, but we still wanted to test a curse. So we each picked something. I was having second thoughts, but Jessica was really wanting to do it.
Just testing the curse anyways, it doesn't matter. We're going to send it back.
They said, I don't believe it. I challenge it. I want to see what's going to happen if I take this item. They challenge it. You challenge evil, and evil will make its presence known to you. These items take on a life of their own. The vibrations are instilled within the molecular structure. But where you bring these items, spirits are drawn to that area.
Let's go home and test the curse.
Tracy and Jessica take home a piece of Bodie, and the consequences are earth-shattering.
I was awoken by my room shaking.
When Jessica and Tracy got home, they waited to see if they would be plagued by Bodie's curse.
They didn't have to wait long.
We took the necklaces home from Bodie to see what, if anything, would happen. We used our video camera to document each day. At first, little things started going wrong.
My dad did my laundry, and it was the laundry that was supposed to be dry clean, and now everything is shrunk.
I did spill some orange juice on the carpet, and that would have been so bad, but my parents just had the carpet steam clean.
But they were little things, so we couldn't really tell if the curse was real or not.
I've been wanting to go to homecoming with this guy in particular, and I finally was talking to him about it, and unfortunately, he was already planning on taking his ex-girlfriend from last year. I still thought these were coincidences. This is what we got now. We got a flat tire. Then some bad things started happening. and then I thought we were really cursed.
Normally, I'm a pretty good student.
I read the book twice, and I had a test on it, and I failed it. And in addition to failing that test, I had a history test that I also didn't know about. It was like a pop quiz, but I also failed it.
It is like beginning to like give me some kind of rash. It's like really itchy, and I like totally messed up my right ankle. It hurts so bad, like you have absolutely no idea. And then the big thing happened. I was awoken by my room shaking. We had an earthquake.
There hadn't been any earthquakes here since like 4 or 5 years ago, and all of a sudden there's this earthquake, and it's right after I take this rock from Bodie.
And then when the earthquake hit, everybody, including my parents, said, enough is enough, send the thing back.
They send these items back, that's fine, okay. What they're in essence saying is that they do believe in it and they're sending it back. But whether the curse can be taken off or not, I can't say for sure. They challenged evil. Once you challenge something, it's up to that something to drop the challenge.
These are the stories of real people from across the country who have had experiences with the unknown. If you have a story to tell, write to us at Island Entertainment, P.O. Box 2036, Old Chelsea Station, New York, New York 10113. Tell us your real scary story.
When Sarah went to visit her friend at college, she liked the campus and she liked the other students. But there was one
thing she thought she might have a hard time getting used to. A ghost down the hall.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a senior in high school in Helena, Alabama. One of my best friends from high school started at the University of Montevallo this year. When I went there, I expected to hear about the school, basically, and about the campus life and living in dorms and such. But what I found out was something I did not expect at all. I found out the dorm I was staying in was haunted. My mom dropped me off that day at Crystal's dorm, which is the main hall. Be careful. The building was huge, and it looks like a haunted house. It's very creepy.
Hey, girl! How you doing?
She got to telling me about a ghost,
Condi Cunningham,
named Connie Cunningham, that haunts Montevallo's campus.
In 1908, she and her roommate were cooking some fudge in their room late one night, which was forbidden by the house mother.
The house mother gave them the word that they had to turn out the lights and go to bed.
They probably had a chafing dish at the time. It was fueled by alcohol, so they were hurrying, and in their scuffle, they knocked a bottle of alcohol over.
Sound caught fire.
And it caught on fire and started burning quite a bit.
She then ran screaming through the hall and burned to death.
That's natural instinct, is when your clothes get on fire to run. And all running does is fan the flames. So the last thing you want to do is run.
As we were walking up to her room, she began to tell me about some weird things that had happened to her while she's been living here.
My alarm clock went off, and I woke up. I looked, but I saw my door was opening. You know, I didn't see the doorknob twist or anything. When the door was like halfway open, I realized that there was nobody on either side of it. We can be sitting on our bed, nobody's around, and all of a sudden, our computer will just come on.
It wasn't just Crystal's room, but the whole dorm was haunted by a ghost named Condi.
I heard just footsteps, just somebody just walking out hard, and it's not like it was just soft footsteps, it's hard footsteps, like somebody was running or something.
Getting ready to go out, and I believe I was in the bathroom part doing my makeup and getting ready, and Melissa said, come here and look at this. I came out and I said, what are you talking about? We waited for a second, and the rug sort of ruffled. It waved.
As if maybe like air had come under it, but the air was off.
The air was off. There was no way the air could have gotten under it.
Doors were shut, windows were shut. No way it could have been a draft, but you kind of had this cold, shuddery feeling run through you.
When I went into the shower,
I was not thinking about ghosts or spirits or anything of that matter. It was a normal day. Well, while I was in there, I heard the heavy bathroom door come open. And then I heard some footsteps go all the way from the bathroom door to the end of the bathroom where there's a stall. I heard the bathroom stall door close, and then I heard a terrible, horrible scream. It sounded like somebody had been surprised and then hurt. It was an agonized, terrified scream. And so I walked to the last stall, and I opened the door and saw that I was completely alone. When I heard the scream, it just echoed. I mean, it was very, very loud. And there was no way that it could have been just somebody's radio or anything, because in the summer there's nobody here. And I was completely alone in that bathroom.
People weren't just hearing Connie, they were seeing her.
Something just woke me up. And there was this girl in a white nightgown. I thought it was my roommate because my glasses were on the nightstand, so I couldn't really see, and I kept screaming my roommate's name. When I reached over on my nightstand to get my glasses, my roommate was in her bed. And so I started screaming my roommate's name even louder, and right as she sat up and opened her eyes, she caught a brief glimpse of Condi, and she disappeared right before her eyes. I was so scared of that room that I moved out, thinking that if I moved, I wouldn't have to worry about her coming back to visit us again. We moved from the second floor to the third floor. I opened my eyes to look at the clock, and she was in front of me, eye level with me on the top bunk, like she was floating. As I was looking at her, she backed up away from me and started motioning for me to come there. She just took her finger and did like this. The second time, I was scared, but it wasn't as big of a surprise to me just because I knew that she roamed the halls.
I thought I'd heard just about enough, and then they told me about the door.
The story goes that shortly after Condi's death, a figure appeared on her door of a face, and that face was a girl with her hair on fire, screaming.
See, the eyes were like, they were really wide, and all around the face, there are flames, like sticking up, like her hair's on fire, and she's like...
The door has been changed at least 3 times. Her face would always reappear into the wooden doors.
Finally, a few years ago, we removed the door and put it in an attic storage area, and it's been there ever since.
I managed to take my camera with me, luckily, because I wanted to see if anything was going to happen. When we were at the bottom of the steps, I didn't know what to expect. I'm shaking.
We only got one more floor to go. She was at the floor.
I got these butterflies in my stomach, like something was going to happen, or I was about to see something that was just really scary. It was like she was there. I mean, she was in the door. I don't know how to explain it. I think Condi was probably in there watching over us. I don't think Condi's here to scare anybody off. She's sort of trapped here. I mean, she didn't get to fulfill all her teenage years, so she wants to see how everybody else is fulfilling theirs.
As Sarah continued her search for the right college, she asked herself one question.
Could she live with someone who wasn't living?
It would be very weird just living with somebody that's on the other side, kind of a supernatural being. I mean, you can't just refer to her as a ghost like it's nothing, because it's definitely something.
It's just scary because you don't exactly know what to expect, and you don't really know what's causing it all.
She stays in this building. She lives in this building. So I think that if it's not just her trying to keep Maine safe, but it's her having unfinished business and her spirit just cannot get out of the building.
Being in the presence of something supernatural and knowing that you're in the presence of something completely unexplainable and phenomenal is something that you never forget.
You get to live with someone that's not living, kind of like another roommate.
Next, you will learn that your deepest fears,
I know something is outside that door.
your darkest nightmares,
You always feel like someone's reaching out and grabbing you.
Oh my God.
are real. They aren't just real scary stories. They're scary stories that are real.
Oh God.
The Real Scary Stories Marathon continues with another episode next.
Hello. Thanks for joining us tonight on All Things Halloween Television. I'm Gort, one of the hosts from a future program coming soon to this channel. The all-new Creature features Saturday night horror movies, a late-night classic movie and skit show. All Things Halloween will also be posting additional Halloween and horror-related content all year long. Every Saturday we will post something for All Things Halloween Television. We will also have more Halloween prop building videos, the Hallow Vlog, haunted history, creepy cooking, and more scary stories, starting this summer just for your human offspring. We are posting all those classic Saturday afternoon specials we grew up with and loved. Plus, every Friday the 13th we will have an Elvira's Midnight Madness movie special. We also are celebrating our 31 days of Halloween, and we'll be posting Halloween and horror-related programming every day in October. We have a big year planned, and we are glad you're here to join us. Thanks again for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
December 1931, Gurdon, Arkansas. A railroad foreman is attacked and killed on an
isolated train track. Soon after, a phantom light appears in the vicinity.
Many believe it is the dead man in his lantern. Tonight, a group of teens follow the tracks of the murdered man
to see who or what is the source of
Gurdon's light. December 2000, Montevallo, Alabama. Sarah is a high school senior.
She has a lot of decisions to make when choosing a college. But when she visits
the University of Montevallo, she's confronted with a problem that most students never have to deal with. Can she share a room with a ghost? These are the real stories of actual encounters with the bizarre and the unknown.
These are real,
scary stories. Bo and Josh had heard about the decapitated man who walks along the railroad tracks carrying a glowing lantern. At first, they weren't sure if the story was true.
Then they saw the light.
If you want to really experience life in Gurdon, you can't not make a visit to the light.
I think it's a ghost, honestly.
But I've just heard it's a guy. He's out here looking for his head. His head got cut off.
All I've really heard about the Gurdon Light is most everybody that's gone out there has seen it.
I know what we saw. I know we saw a ghost.
Apparently, it's a pretty freaky light because everybody geeks out and takes off running.
But the fact remains that there is something there. I've seen it all my life, and I don't have an explanation for it.
My name is Bo. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm 19 years old. I'm here to see the Gurdon Light. I'm kind of skeptical, you know.
Gurdon was founded in 1880 as a railroad community.
Gurdon is a very, very small town.
As in a lot of small towns, so you have one or two things that you do for entertainment. Those of us who are natives of Gurdon got to lead quite a few expeditions out to see the light.
Something that's very comforting is I've got my friend Josh coming with me.
Come in our escorts room.
Let's do it. Josh is a great guy. We've been friends for a while, since probably the 10th grade, and we just graduated last year. We've also got some new friends, two girls from Gurdon coming with us, as well as Brandon.
We hear Gurdon, we hear the Gurdon Light.
Yeah.
That's all we hear about. What's going on?
Well, the story is it's supposed to be a ghost out there looking for his head, and the light's apparently the light is his lantern that he's looking with.
Yeah. You guys are all nervous and you've already seen it. See, that's what makes me nervous. You guys make me nervous. But we're nervous together. If we scream more than you guys, it'd be all right. I don't think we're less men just it's cool. We're ready. We're a little nervous. We'll talk that way.
A lot of the legend of the light relates to the murder of Mr. McLean.
Back in 1931, William McLean was murdered on the track where everyone sees the garden lot.
Allegedly, he was killed by another member of the railroad crew.
William McLean and one of his workers were out one night by themselves and they were having a quarrel.
There's no particular love between the guys anyway to begin with.
Him and William got into a big argument and he picked up a spike maul and knocked his head off.
That's the historical fact of the murder of the track foreman.
Everyone knows that that is the ghost of William McLean because right after his death, not 2 months later, the light appeared. And it sways back and forth, so everyone thinks it's a lantern for him looking for his head.
A research team from Henderson State University came down some years ago.
There was a group of adult teachers out there, and several of the teachers actually got quite frightened because of the light.
As far as explaining it, scientifically or philosophically or any way, I cannot explain this phenomenon, this light.
Sometimes it appears to move toward you. Sometimes it appears to move away from you.
My experiences with the light growing up, that it's something that actually thinks and that actually has the capacity to interact with people and with things around it.
I've seen a little bit in my time, but I didn't believe in so-called spirits or ghosts. I came out with a couple of local people.
Okay, we're waiting for the light. You saw it way down there.
So I get all ready. I'm trying to capture this on videotape. And just before it started to get dark, we looked over. There it goes. Oh my God! Oh my God! Look, there he is. There he is. He's right there. Do you see him?
I saw him. I saw an arm.
There was a puff of light, and then there was a man standing right there.
I saw his arm and everything.
So I pointed the camera over to try to get something, and it was just kind of, I don't know, it was weird. The air seemed thicker or something. It was like this haze was right there, and I pointed, and you could see more of an apparition with your naked eye.
Okay, I'm out of here.
Oh man, I better see the ghost. I'm gonna be a little bit upset, you know. So if I'm out there, ghost better be out there.
I contacted the Caddo Valley Railroad Company. I made sure that they closed the track so no trains will be running tonight.
I think I'm way ready. I'm way ready to challenge this ghost.
When Bo and Josh searched for Gurdon's light, the black night didn't scare them. What stepped out of it did.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! No, 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 no!
Josh and Bo wanted to see Gurdon's light because they wanted the experience of feeling real
live fear. They were about to get their chance.
I guess, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but
That doesn't matter.
try to be brave. I guess it doesn't matter if I'm ready, it's coming. I don't know exactly what's going to be out there, but it kind of freaks me out.
The element of fear is such a rush, you know. Scary movies do it, but there's nothing like live, you know, being there yourself.
About being in that moment, getting scared. It's a rush. Yeah, I think it's... Well, let's try to stick together. I think that would be best. You glad we did this, or?
Mm-hmm, you betcha.
Well, glad you're so excited. I'm a little nervous, man.
I knew you would be, Josh. That's why I brought you.
I don't know.
I'm feeling it, dude. I'm already feeling the effects.
My nerves are going crazy right now, man.
I think I'm all right so far.
How are you guys?
I think I'm
Just fine. We're just can't wait to get down.
Guess it's just me and Bo, me and the new guys and all. But we're nervous.
We're back to that trust that boy.
Turn your lights off. Turn your lights off.
After 2 hours of following the tracks without a sighting, Bo tries to make McLean's ghost materialize.
The legend goes that you can tap on the tracks of the rock. And then it's like you'll hear it. It's like you'll hear the vibrations down there, and it'll appear. not sure what I saw. It swings. It's like a swinging thing. Yeah. It's like his lantern just swings across the track. It just like floats. It was like every time we do that, the light would just, it would come at us almost. It would just appear. It would flicker like it was mad or something, like it knew we had something it wanted. I don't know. I guess I'm just scared because I'm afraid to get closer. I want it to get closer.
Oh wow, it was huge.
Oh God, there it goes again. Get down there, makes me want to go after it.
I mean, we wanted the full effect, so we decided to head out by ourselves.
I think me and Bo are going to try to get a little bit closer. Totally. Are you sure you want to go, Bo?
Don't. Absolutely. Loud.
Come back, guys.
Back here.
Yeah. Be careful, guys.
Appreciate that. All right,
guys. See you later.
See you. Wait for it.
We will.
Yeah, wait for it. Wait a minute.
Careful, guys.
There it was. Did you see that? No, that was big. Oh, that's wild. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No. That's like a sky thing. It's like you got it.
We hear stuff in the woods, whether it's animals, ghosts, whatever. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. Well, I can't see it, so it's, it's all the same. It all leads into the same scare.
It's like it can feel us, and we had this strange feeling, the both of us, as we were walking towards the light. It was strange. We were scared. Each time we'd get closer almost. But then again, it would like run away too. It didn't want us to get too close to it. It's like it didn't want us to discover what it was.
The light seemed to move further away from the boys as they followed it down the tracks.
But in reality, it wasn't moving away at all.
That freaked me out. I don't know. It's just...
What he said happened is a big ball of light shot at him. Better him than me. It might as well happen to me because he really scared the mess out of me as well.
I agree. We've seen a lot. We've seen enough. Let's go back.
Who knows? Let's do it.
Yeah, I knew I saw something down there.
I know.
There are things out there we can't explain. Things that happen that people just have no, you don't know what it is. You don't know what's going on. I mean, I guess I've come to think of it as a ghost now. Because what in the heck else could it be? Seriously.
When Sarah visited her friend's college dorm, she thought she'd learn how college kids live.
Instead, she learned how one died. September 2000, Midlothian, Illinois. A high school junior and his friends planned to document their night in the local cemetery for their journalism class. But when they split up, getting the story is less important than getting out.
1700s, Wanacue, New Jersey. The Lenni Lenape Indian tribe refused to enter the haunted woods near their village.
Tonight, 3 teenage boys explore the supernatural area known as the Vortex. These are the real accounts of actual encounters with the bizarre and the unknown. These are real, scary stories. When Mark and his classmates set out to investigate the hauntings at Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, they interviewed the townspeople and filmed their stories.
Then they went into the cemetery and got a story of their own.
Everyone in the Chicagoland area, especially on the south side, has heard about the supernatural occurrences that happen in and around the Bachelor's Grove area.
You've ever seen a really scary movie where the cemetery is just overgrown with weeds? This is that cemetery.
And so I wanted to do a project on the Bachelor's Grove area for my TV production class. So am I going to be scared tonight, or?
Well, you're going to one of the most haunted cemeteries in Illinois, so.
I'm Mark, and I live in Midlothian, Illinois, and go to Bremen High School. I take a class called TV production, and in that class we learn about all the different equipment used in TV production, and we also do our own projects. Midlothian is a beautiful suburb in the south of Chicago, and it's also home to one of the most haunted cemeteries in the nation called Bachelor's Grove.
I believe that it is haunted. I believe in that pretty much all the places that they say are haunted, I believe something happened there. There's floating orbs of blue light, disappearing farmhouses.
Al Capone dumped a few bodies in the lagoon there. Bodies that were dumped into that lagoon kind of found a resting place in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery.
And that's why I heard it's haunted.
Yes, I know, isn't that freaky?
Some people think in a small town that there's nothing really going on, but we have like this really haunted cemetery so close to us.
I do believe in spirits and everything. I mean, it is a cemetery, so I mean, that's the place where stuff is going to happen most likely.
And I think a video project is a good way to learn about it.
Right there.
I started off by going around town and asking the locals what they knew about the Grove. And they told me a lot of different stories, a lot of personal accounts, a lot of stories that I've already heard. But it was all really interesting.
Legend has it that there had been a farmhouse.
Most people describe it as a larger home, very ominous looking. And as you approach this house, it starts to shrink away smaller and smaller and then disappears.
A few of us went back there, and my brother Pat and another guy were standing back there, and out from the tree line came, I guess it'd be the caretaker of the house. He started screaming, him and the two guys he was with, because the caretaker was running after him. And they said they were throwing rocks, and rocks just passing right through the caretaker.
I talked to Monty, an expert ghost hunter.
March of this year, me and my girlfriend had went out there, and we're in the pond area. This was an area where the mobsters that put their victims in the 1920s and 1930s. Well, directly over the pond, we saw a blue orb about the size of a mini basketball.
Paranormal experts believe that orbs, the spots of light that sometimes appear on photographs, are spirits captured on film.
I don't believe this to be any kind of lens flare, simply because there are no reflective surfaces. It was taken in a dark cemetery pretty late at night. And as well as these orbs that we pick up out at Bachelor's Grove, we also pick up fogs and mists that aren't normally seen with the eye as well. This happens to be a foggy night, and the fog is pretty consistent throughout the photo and literally showed up in every photograph that I took that night. If it was a foggy night, this would definitely show up in more photos.
I spoke with a town historian to try and get a little more history on the Grove.
In our collections at the Historical Society, we have a drawing of the cemetery which helped us in our research to document the families and the individuals that are buried there. We found some 5 miles from the cemetery, a small child's stone from the cemetery. There is a story about a ghost woman. Sometimes it's a woman in white, and she leaves a fresh flower on a child's grave. There is some people that think that this infant, Emma, was the child's grave that the flower is being left at.
There are a lot of stories, and a lot of them are very convincing. Even though I'd like to believe a lot of these legends, I won't believe anything until I see it.
Tonight, Mark learns that seeing is believing.
Mark, to your left. It looks really new.
When Mark, Larissa, and Lisa entered the cemetery, the plan was to split up, to keep in constant communication, and to remain calm. Things didn't go as planned.
Stories I've heard about Bachelor's Grove range from flying orbs to Al Capone's dead victims in the bottom of the pond to a house that you can't reach because it disappears once you get up close to it. There are a lot of stories, and I'd like to believe them all, but I need proof before I believe them for myself.
Never been to Bachelor's Grove before. I can't believe you live there. You've lived here all your life and you've never gone there.
I've never been to the Grove myself.
Why haven't you ever been there?
I don't know.
Are you scared?
No, I'm not scared. I've never been to the Grove before because a lot of my friends are really afraid to go there. But I'm gonna go ahead and investigate it anyway. Then I met up with Larissa and Lisa. We made plans to sit in the Grove at night with our camcorders, videotaping, to see if anything would show up on the videos.
There's flowers in there. I think it's pretty.
Where?
Little flowers like carved in.
Oh, I thought you meant like fresh flowers. We saw a gravesite, and there was no flower laying on it. But then a few hours later, on the same gravesite, there was a flower laying there. There was nobody around there but us.
Really new. Didn't we come down this one?
Right, we didn't see that there. It looks pretty fresh.
I just wonder if it's us not paying attention or if it's for real.
That was the first time that we were really creeped out.
You realize that right now we are like
above the remains of people.
I had a plan in my head about the investigation that night. Larissa and you and me will all like take like an area, and then we get an hour's worth of footage in. Is that cool?
Well,
Like what? Like what are you thinking?
I am like terrified of being here, and you're to send me on a trail by myself in the dark.
So I decided that Lisa and Larissa would go down to the pond together, and that I would stay in the cemetery. All right, make sure that you're talking and saying, you know, all right, this is what's going on.
We are heading towards the pond where the dead lobster bodies are supposed to be. There we go.
This is good.
Oh my God, there's
Yeah.
I almost walked right into it.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Good luck. I'll see you in an hour.
Okay, be careful.
Bye.
Be careful and do not go in the vanishing house, Mark!
I had constant communications with the girls. Hello, you guys okay over there?
We're over here, camped out by the swamp, and we haven't really seen anything yet. It stays that way between you and me.
And so it begins. Just starting this hour of me being by myself. Nothing so far. I'll keep it posted. This place is definitely out there, I'll tell you that much. I was filming the trees and the grave sites and everything that was around me when I was sitting, but I wasn't getting much of anything.
Mark, we can see you from here.
No, I can't see you guys, so I don't think you can see me. I don't know.
What do you hear?
Like noises over the swamp, like something. Oh, I heard it. I'm serious.
Wait, are you there? Hey, Mark, I'm here.
What's going on?
She thought she heard something by the pond, so we're checking it out.
They figured that I was close by, so they weren't afraid.
Honey, you're gonna be fine. Just talk to Lisa.
If you call me sweet things one more time, I'm gonna beat your head in.
Larissa, we have a half an hour left.
Let's just do it for one more half hour and we'll be all right.
I can't, Mark. Talking to myself is the only way that I'm not gonna be that scared. So I'm gonna talk about everything that we've seen so far. I just keep hearing like tree branches crack, and I don't know if it's us or like animals or something else, but I have this like a very like not a bad feeling, but like I'm apprehensive, and I don't know if that's me.
Ask Mark if he was moving.
Mark,
because that was a lot of twigs moving.
Were you moving just now?
Something scared Lisa and Larissa really bad.
We just heard some twigs snapping. We just freaked us out a little bit. It's okay.
Alright, you guys are alright. You guys are alright.
For like the past 5 minutes, she's really, really scared. I gotta be honest with you, I am too. This is freaking me out. I don't really want to stay out here too much longer.
Mark, now I heard footsteps. Now I am scared, okay?
You guys, what's going on?
Lisa, Larissa, somebody talk to me.
We just heard some footsteps that were like, you know, one after another, not like a twig breaking from a squirrel. So that just freaked us out a little bit.
Are you guys gonna be okay?
No!
She says no.
I'm so scared.
Seeing the girls in that state was frightening enough for me.
No, I am checking in again, and like Larissa's really scared, and I'm kind of scared now too.
I just felt a cold spot. It's 10:55, and we are coming up there.
Okay, I hear you. Let's just get out of here.
We bailed on the project about 20 minutes before plan.
We are now leaving the pond site. We thought we passed through a lot of cold spots. When we were coming from the pond area, we were walking past the pond up by the cemetery, and we felt a big difference of temperature coming from where we were at the pond. So I don't know what that means, but we felt it. Wait a minute, hold up. You were over here, or were you over there the whole time?
What?
Were you here the whole time?
Or were you over there? Wait. No. You were...
You guys, I haven't moved the entire time we were here.
You were here the whole time. You weren't by that tree over by the big stone?
No, I was not.
We said wave. Why would you... We said wave at us, and you waved back at us.
Yeah, from here. It definitely wasn't me. I was a pretty far ways away from there.
No.
Guys, don't talk anymore. Let's just get back, all right? They were really creeped out when they found out that they were staring at somebody that definitely wasn't me.
But from where you said you were, there's no way we could have seen you because you were set back in the graveyard, but this was like right there.
They looked like they were looking at us. Well, if it wasn't Mark that we saw, and he obviously wouldn't lie to us about the project. He wouldn't say, oh, I was there and he wasn't there. So if it wasn't him, there's nothing else that could describe it except if it was that lady in white.
When we first started this whole project, I knew that we were going to get some information, maybe, you know, find out a few things about the cemetery that I didn't know before, but we ended up finding out a lot more than I had bargained for.
Yeah, I think that we got, you know, on our part, a successful project because even if we didn't get it on tape, at least we saw it, you know, we right, and
I think we were a very dramatic project on my part because I was
right to show how the fear of the cemetery can make a person change.
Yeah, I'm in a different state now than I was about 20 minutes ago when I was still in there, and I really do think it's a real scary place, and I think it's haunted.
What is waiting for Ray and his friends in the vortex? In the early 1900s, in New Jersey, a munitions factory exploded, killing hundreds of factory workers and opening a portal into another realm.
Ray and his friends go to the vortex in search of their spirits.
You know things are there. You know you're being watched. You know things are around you.
The kids call the area the vortex, but it's just part of the woods down by the old factory site.
You always feel like someone's reaching out and grabbing you. When you turn around, you see nothing but darkness.
Oh, my God. There were literally hundreds that had died. And they're there. Their spirits are there, locked in time and space at the vortex.
My name is Ray. I live near a vortex. The vortex is like a doorway where things can seep through, good and bad.
It goes way back to the Lenni Lenape Indians. These woods were very sacred with spirits.
For the last 500 years, their law was that none of their people were allowed to go into these woods because of floating ghost figures and weird animal killings.
Munitions workers didn't believe in the power of the vortex, but they were wrong. Dead wrong.
Well, it used to be a munitions factory back there. It was supposedly sabotaged.
There was a huge explosion.
And when it blew, it leveled about a third of the area around here.
So all these people that were at one moment alive were the next moment dead. And they're there. Their spirits are there. So when you walk through the beginning part of the vortex, you go through this area. And that is where I have seen ghosts.
When me and Ray get back there, it's just really scary.
The vortex is a place where you actually feel the presence of people that have passed over.
Ghosts flow from other dimensions to our dimension through this doorway.
These orbs we can't see with the naked eye.
One of the reasons why me and my friend Ray go back to the vortex is to take photographs of these orbs. Oh, there you go.
Yep, got an orb. That's a good one.
The kinds of cameras that catch orbs are any cameras. Your 35mm, a Polaroid, a digital, it doesn't matter.
Tonight, my friends Ray and Ray are taking me to the vortex for the first time. My name is Mike, and I'm 15.
He's heard all our stories, he's seen some pictures, and he's a little skeptical about them, so we are hoping to bring him back there and show him that these things are really real.
When the boys go into the vortex, will they find evidence, or will it find them? The still photographs that follow were taken by Ray and his friends. They have not been altered in any way. The same cannot be said for the boys.
You're gonna see a lot of stuff back there, Mike.
How good or bad?
Bad. Yeah, they said there's a lot of action tonight. You gotta be careful. That's your head. Okay, I'm pretty. Look at that. Look at it hover. Look at it hover. Yeah, look what I got on this picture.
What?
I might have an orb. Look. And I got 2 of them.
Where?
Right there. Above that leaf in the middle.
You hear that?
I heard something. I heard that.
So we started walking down to the woods. It's really dark. You can hardly see in front of you without the lights. We're walking down, and Mike walked ahead of us.
There's another one here. Dude, look at that.
And he comes back and he goes, "Oh my God! I heard a thump."
Yeah, I heard a.
It was closer.
Yeah, it's telling us not to go back there.
Flash your light, nothing was there, right?
I saw the bush just like that, shaking, just like that.
Just like you're standing here and just start doing that.
Right after hearing that.
On the way to the vortex.
Okay, we're almost there.
Holy!
Oh.
Dude, all right, now.
I never, ever had reactions like that. I mean, I heard that thump. I was there.
I didn't see no footprints.
Nothing.
I didn't see no landmarks. I didn't. It's like it wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Just so we can say we did it. Come on. Nothing's gonna happen.
Are you positive?
Come on.
We're there. I'm not going any further.
Here we are.
No, we're going all the way in.
All right, this is it. This is the entrance. It's as far as I go. Usually we don't go to the field, and today we did when we brought Mike. It was pretty scary.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Are you positive?
Come on.
We're definitely in. I definitely want to get out.
Let's get in the middle and get out.
No, I'm not going in the middle.
I'm going in the middle.
This is in.
No, wait.
This is in. You said in.
Wait,
We're definitely.
Fine, go.
And we got out there in the fog.
Fog was really freaking us out. It was moving in all different directions.
I'm gonna find out. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out.
No, come on. No.
Look at this. Look, there's days and I ain't even breathing.
Dude, that's fog.
Yeah, why is it foggy here?
They love to come out
and not back there.
Go.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel better.
Where'd the fog go?
Fog's gone, bro.
Fog is gone. It's moving pretty quick.
Yeah, it is moving quick.
Was that good or bad?
That's good.
Fog is moving fast.
I went right to go sit on the tree. We were spreading my ear.
Oh, no, I'll tell you it.
Hey, dude, the fog is back.
Oh, really?
Come on. Fess up.
I'm having mixed feelings right now. I want to go back really bad, I want to go forward really bad, and I want to stay right here really bad for about 5 minutes until I cool down and go back. How far back are we going?
This is good. This is far enough. Well,
I know, that's why I'm following.
what is wrong with you tonight? Light.
Oh my God!
My camera just went dead. We're out.
I'm scared because I don't know if I'm in danger or not, or if one of those things falling down or trying to protect me or trying to attack me. If I am in danger, I have no way of knowing. So that's what scares me.
There was one other thing that Mike and his friends didn't know. They were being followed.
Turning back, we didn't see anything on the way back, but we were definitely still scared.
In 1896, Mansfield, Ohio. The first inmates arrive at the Mansfield Reformatory. During the next 100 years,
More than 150,000 inmates will pass through its heavily guarded gates. Now, 14s have come to see if ghosts of inmates are still doing time at the old prison.
late 1800s, in the Inyo Mountains, California, a dangerous outlaw named Alphonse Benoit is reportedly found dead,
surrounded by the skulls of his victims. More than a century later, he's seen again in the deserted mountain town of Cerro Gordo. Now, two sisters from the valley are searching for his spirit.
What was that? They fear that in death, the ghost of the Inyos will be as evil as he was said to be in life. These are the real stories of actual encounters with the bizarre and the unknown. These are real,
scary stories. Every prison is built to be escape-proof. Rob and his three friends are about to discover the stone walls and iron bars of Mansfield Reformatory
are so secure that even the souls of desperate criminals cannot escape into the hereafter.
My name is Rob. I'm 17, and I live in the same town as one of the most haunted prisons in the United States. I've heard stories about guards that were murdered in there and murdered inmates.
Any of those people could still be in there haunting the place.
People have, their own different ideas of who's haunting it. But if you live in Mansfield, then you're going to know the reformatory and you're going to at least hear stories about it.
Most people think it's haunted. Not everybody. I just really don't believe that there's ghosts and things there.
Tonight, me and my friends, Rachel, Blythe, and Pete, are going to go into the reformatory and look for the spiritual activity.
I have to prove to all of them that there's really no such thing.
The prison from the outside is like a place that you've always wanted to be. It's like a castle. But when you walk inside, there's an underlying coldness that doesn't go away. There are so many people that died here. Most of them did not die peacefully.
We had a lot of stabbings, suicides. We had one hung himself down in the correction cell, which the inmates called the hole.
In 1931, there was a guard killed in the isolation area downstairs. There were 2 recorded instances of men being thrown over the railings in the west cell block.
A lot of pain and a lot of grief here. And I think that a lot of that sticks with the building.
The building itself is made out of sandstone, and sandstone has a high quartz content. Quartz absorbs and emits energies. Emotion is energy. Energy, you can't create it or destroy it. It's always there. Of all the prisoners that came and went, and all the emotion that went on in this place, it's like a big battery. It makes it easier for spirit energy to manifest themselves.
There have been hundreds of paranormal experiences documented out here.
We've gotten orbs, we've gotten mists, we've gotten full figures, and some of them have been positively identified either by former guards or through old record.
Most people know the story about the warden.
The warden and his wife.
A warden's wife died, apparently of an accidental shooting.
One day when she opened a closet, a gun fell out and shot her.
The warden, her husband, in fact, 10 years later, passed away at his desk from a massive heart attack.
People have said that they've heard the warden and his wife arguing in the warden's quarters.
You hear so many stories that it's kind of hard not to think that something is haunting the place.
We go through all of our pictures with a fine-tooth comb and varying degrees of magnification. And the photo that was taken down in solitary, at first I just thought it was like rubble. I blew up that part of the photo, and this face showed up. The one eye is swollen shut, and the nose is kind of bent over. This poor guy got beat up.
The hole, when I first came here, they would only put one to a cell because they were violent. One time they put 2 inmates in one cell. Only one inmate came out. The other one is dead, stuffed underneath the steel cot where a cellmate had strangled him that night.
Tonight at the reformatory, I hope to find at least one ghost, whether it be the warden or one of the cellmates, and try to talk to it.
I think it's creepy in there, but I don't really believe in all that ghosts and haunting stuff.
Will Rob and his friends end up serving time with the ghosts of Mansfield
Prison? As punishment for breaking the rules at Mansfield, some of the worst offenders were sent to the row of dark solitary cells known as
the Hole, a place so terrible it would claim the spirits of prisoners trapped there, spirits that many believe still remain.
If you walk down one of the cell blocks at night, you just feel like there are thousands of eyes staring, like they're still here.
It was totally disgusting. The smell was really horrible. It smelled like bodies were decaying.
Lead away, Russ. We were looking for certain things we'd heard about.
We are planning to look for solitary.
Hey guys, look. We are here, guys. Yes.
We entered the hole. I was scared personally because I had heard stories about it.
Solitary, even in the summertime, it's cold. It's cold down there. Not really temperature-wise, it just chills you to the bone. It's just bad.
We went into one of the solitary confinement cells and just kind of sat and kind of stayed quiet to see if we could hear anything. Rachel and Blythe went to go look for the warden's quarters.
Totally feel something like all my hair follicles brushing up against my head.
There's something in there.
Please, go. All of a sudden, I warm air, like flew on my face, and like top of my head, like felt like someone was like brushing my hair, just like my whole face was hot, like breath, like warm breath, and then like I could feel stuff on my hair.
Oh yeah.
Like that's exactly what it was like. Okay, I'm going back in there.
No, Rob.
Pete was really afraid of the solitary confinement hall, and I was more curious and like wanted to keep looking and find out what was going on.
Rob, come here. Rob, please come right here. Something moved in that cell.
I'm going back in there.
No, Rob.
I'm feeling the same exact thing again.
I kind of convinced Pete to go back into the cell and see if he felt anything.
Okay, something's feeling your hair.
Like the back, like top left side of my head, and like I could feel warm breath on my head, on my face.
I could feel something. Get out. Like 100 little fingers pulling the skin off of my face. Like something's trying to pull my skin off my nose.
It's a weird feeling. It's like warm. It is so warm in here.
It was like this ominous presence was right there, and I just had to get out.
Can we leave now, please?
That was a lot of what made me think these people really are joking that there are ghosts in here.
Probably about the best thing I would advise would be to, if you feel uncomfortable in a place, get out.
You do not even know how scary this was down in Solitary.
The girls didn't know, but they wanted to.
So they went to find out for themselves.
That is the creepiest spot right there. I feel like there's someone like standing like right behind me. Like, really creepy. Makes me feel sick. Do we really feel like there's somebody here like following us, or just... I'm getting out of here now. Get me out of here now. I'm gonna throw up. Let's go. I really felt that when I turned around, I'd see someone standing there staring me straight in the eye. And when I didn't, I was really confused. I don't know how I could feel so strongly about there being a person right in front of me when there wasn't.
I did find what I was looking for. I did find some sort of presence, some sort of ghost telling us we really shouldn't be here.
It was a big change of heart for me. There are people that died in there that are still there, and it's haunted.
I came into this really unsure of what I thought and pretty much not believing in ghosts, but I'd say the experience that I had in the solitary confinement chamber had such a big impact on me that it definitely changed my mind, and I know that there was something else in there.
I blew up the photo that was taken down in solitary and sent it to the prison. One of the former guards identified him as Jimmy Hansberger and that he was killed down in the hall.
Somehow his life ended in that chamber, and he he's still in there.
Shireen and Felicia are preparing to meet the ghost they've heard about all their lives, Alphonse Benoit.
The outline of his sinister face has appeared on a screen at the old hotel in Cerro Gordo. Alphonse Benoit died hiding out in the Inyo Mountains near Cerro Gordo.
Shireen and Felicia have come to see if his murderous ghost is still holed up in the empty boomtown.
Sometimes it's very, very quiet. The loudest thing in town is your own heartbeat.
I think his ghost is an evil, negative spirit that was trying to scare us really bad last night.
People around here think that he was a mass murderer, so I think that's why he still might be up there haunting the place looking for new victims. I'm Felicia.
And I'm Shireen.
And we live in Lone Pine, California.
We live at the base of Mount Whitney, tallest mountain in the continental U.S. Tomorrow we are going to go to the top of the Inyo Mountains, very top, to a ghost town called Cerro Gordo.
Cerro Gordo is the largest silver mine in one hole in California. Somebody was always falling down the mine shaft or getting kicked in the head by a mule.
There was a shooting almost every day up there. It was like a murder a week, if not more.
We have heard a whole bunch of ghost stories about the old mining camp. One man that was staying in the hotel saw a lantern just float across the room.
We were just starting to work on the hotel when they first noticed the face in the screen.
Could well be an image of Alphonse Benoit.
They say they see a dark figure in the corner of their eye, and they turn to look, there's nobody there. People around here think that the dark figure is Alphonse Benoit.
Apparently he was murdered in a mine somewhere north of here, and Alphonse has gained the reputation as the ghost of the Inyos.
In 1994, hikers found a rusted canister with handwritten notes
about the manhunt for Alphonse Benoit.
They talked about finding what they thought were the remains of Alphonse Benoit, surrounded by the crushed skulls of his victims.
We've kind of been scared or kind of spooked out by the Inyo Mountains and the tales of Cerro Gordo. I finally got enough guts to go up there.
I think my sister's crazy. I'm going with her because I don't want her to be all alone.
The road that goes up there is known as the Yellow Grade Road. It's the same road that they built back in 1868.
The roads up to Cerro Gordo were really windy. They were twisty. Some of them were really steep.
It felt like we were kind of leaving civilization behind.
When we got up there, we were stuck. If we got in any trouble, it was like we had to stay up there.
Me and Felicia were left there all alone, except for the wind and all the spirits in very spooky Cerro Gordo.
I don't know, there's nothing.
There are no visitors to Cerro Gordo
during the winter.
We went to check out the old general store, which is now the museum. There wasn't really anything there.
We went over to the Belshaw house to investigate that.
This is where some people say that they've seen stuff.
It's in here.
Wow. There's a lot of doors in this place.
Doors that lead nowhere.
What was that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
These things were open.
Think there's something following us? Maybe.
Ready to go to the hotel?
Yeah, let's go.
We got enough courage to go to the hotel. Oh, God.
The hotel is where the face of Alphonse Benoit appeared in the screen.
Shireen and Felicia are about to find out firsthand
why Cerro Gordo defines ghost town. The body of Alphonse Benoit was surrounded by the crushed skulls of his victims.
Shireen and Felicia fear that he is as dangerous in death as he was in life.
The hotel is where the face of Alphonse Benoit appeared in the screen.
Let's go. Right behind you. Sorry, it's just a Shane. It's just a cat. You scared me. Ooh. We were kind of getting nervous because it was really late at night, and we wanted to see something, but then again we didn't because we were really, really scared. Did you hear that?
You heard that too?
Yeah.
So it's not just me?
Was it downstairs?
Yeah. Screen was in here.
So the screen that the face was found was in here. What was that?
What fell?
Okay.
What fell?
I don't know. What was that, Felicia?
Check in the closet. Big fall.
No, it looks all exactly the same.
Nothing? What is the cat looking at?
I don't see anything, do you? Something just ran past the window. Oh my God. There's nobody out there, right? We knew we saw something, but we wanted to make sure it wasn't our imaginations, even though we both saw it. And we wanted to make contact with it, so we went back into the room.
So what do you think, Shane?
I think I'm really, really scared, and I'm not really wanting to go back in there. Oh my God! No, I'm out. I'm out of there. I'm getting out of the house. I'm out. Yes. I'm getting out of the house. I'm getting out of the house. I'm getting out of the house. Oh my God. 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 Oh my God.
I want to get off the mountain.
Yes, let's go. I'm ready to get out of here.
We want to get far away from here. Just go home, back, down, way off the mountain, as far as we can. As far as we can get from Cerro Gordo.
We might have seen him. Well, I hope it was him. That's what we came up here to look for, and... Ooh. When I look up at that mountain now, I'm gonna know that the Ghost of the Inyo's Alphonse Benoit is really up there.
1885, Evansville, Indiana. Willard Carpenter builds a library and wills his fortune to its upkeep. His daughter Louise is left penniless and very angry. After her death,
Louise's spirit claims the library as her own. Now, 2 teens have come looking for her. They're about to learn that you have to be careful what you look for. It just might find you.
1830s, Allison Park, Pennsylvania. A Presbyterian church is built. 140 years later, the old church is renovated and a battle between good and evil is unleashed. Now, a group of curious
teens have come to investigate. Will they find a malicious force or a guiding spirit protecting people from harm?
These are the real stories of actual encounters with the bizarre and the unknown. These are real, scary stories.
Every library has ghost stories on its shelves. But when
Zach and Lisa visit Willard Library, they aren't just reading a ghost story. They're trapped in one.
My name is Zach, and I'm 17, and I live in Evansville, Indiana. Evansville's a little bit slow for me. It's a good place to raise a family, I think. It's not a good place if you're 17 and looking for excitement.
Evansville is very small, but it's a good small. It's the right size.
I think everybody in Evansville knows about the ghost at Willard Library to some extent. Everybody knows something. Everybody knows something about the Lady in Gray. I don't believe in ghosts. I kind of have to see it to believe it, or it's not the truth for me.
Zach doesn't believe in ghosts, and I do, and that's just the difference of opinions.
Tonight, Lisa and I will be going to a haunted library to search for the supposed Lady in Gray.
Hopefully we'll see a ghost.
Local myth has it that the Willard Library is haunted by Lady in Gray.
There have been literally hundreds of sightings and encounters and feelings.
Anyone that has said they have seen her, she's always dressed in gray.
They believe Lady in Gray is Louise Carpenter, the daughter of Willard Carpenter.
He was a great philanthropist and did a wonderful thing when he built this library, but he was especially miserly when it concerned his family. When Mr. Carpenter passed away, he left his fortune to support the library.
I think she was pretty bitter. Probably died pretty unhappy. I would, at least.
The Lady in Gray was first sighted in 1937 by the library janitor. He encountered a woman, and he could see right through her. He shined his flashlight right through her.
Since I've been here, I've had a few unexplained experiences here at the library, ranging from thinking you hear footsteps when there's nobody else in the room, to strange things happening with the books.
Books being rearranged, books jumping off shelves.
I was sitting at my desk working, and behind me there's two monitors. I saw something on a monitor, and it went from one monitor into the other monitor, and everything else that was in the monitor was really clear. But whatever it was that was moving, you could not see it.
We have an alarm system. It's the creepiest when there is no apparent reason for the alarm to have gone off.
I've made 3, maybe 4 alarms at Willard Library. When you come in at night, it's kind of creepy. You know, everything creaks and groans, and like I say, the Gray Lady, you know, you've got these stories in the back of your mind.
Not sure if I'm scared, but I'm not sure if I'd want to see her face to face.
The last alarm I made with Kim, we never found any apparent cause for the alarm.
If I saw a ghost or, you know, Lady in Gray and what have you, it would answer a lot of questions, you know. It would take care of a lot of thinking for me. At least I'd know something was going on when you die.
I think that if Zach sees a ghost, he'll believe in him. Zach and I are going to Willard Library and meet Tim Hart.
I've investigated the Willard Library 3 times. Every time that I've been here, I get something on the static fields. Something paranormal or anomalous.
Lisa's into science, so this might prove her point about the Willard.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Zach. Nice to meet you. So what are you looking for whenever you measure all this stuff?
Fluctuating electromagnetic fields, anomalous phenomena.
Investigators use devices to detect unusual changes in static electricity
or temperature. They call these changes anomalous phenomena and believe they can
indicate the presence of a spirit. But what these devices can't tell you
is whether the ghost is good
or evil.
What you want to do is walk around with this, and if it goes to 7 or above, that's when you might have some kind of anomalous activity. And if you hear that, that means there's something going on, okay?
That right there?
Yeah.
So there's something going on?
Well, that's because it's warming up. If it goes above 7 while you're sitting somewhere, definitely take a picture.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's go.
You're on your own.
Thanks.
See you later.
Oddly enough, the most sightings or feelings or senses of the ghost presence has actually occurred in the basement area, which is also where the children's department is located.
This way.
Wait, let me go. Turn this on and let it
We go around this way.
I don't know, none of these things are flipping out or anything, so let's see what else we can find. That scared the heck out of me. Alright, fear is kind of like a common link between everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody fears something. It may not be the same thing, but it feels the same whenever they get scared. Everybody knows what it feels like. It's just kind of sink in your stomach, you know what I mean? Your kind of heart drops down. For a split second, you're real frantic. You don't exactly know how to react. So we went upstairs, and we searched around the genealogy room for a little bit.
The meters are reading 0.
And Lisa and I decided that we were going to split up. You got your walkie-talkie? All right.
Got it.
All right, just turn it on. Yell at me if you need anything. This thing's kind of fun. Take that.
I went down to the basement in the children's area. Zach stayed in the genealogy room.
According to local legend, the lady in gray is easily angered by those who
deny her existence. Zach hopes he can use the legend to draw her out by making her angry.
There's nothing in this library. If there were anybody who could make the apparition angry enough to actually manifest itself, that would probably be me. I'm pretty good at making people mad. Susan City. Her dad was crazy.
When she was alive, the lady in gray was denied ownership of the Willard Library.
In death, she has claimed it as her own. Zach taunts her, hoping she will reveal herself. But while Zach taunts her,
is she about to haunt them?
Zach,
What's up?
are you taunting the ghost?
What?
Are you taunting the ghost?
Oh, well, I don't know what else I can do except, you know, what else are you going to do? There's nothing going on. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. You know? What else are you going to do?
Think you need to do a better job.
I guess I'll see if I can't work a little bit harder. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it. I'm telling you, there's nothing in this building at all. You know what it is? If the libraries are really full. That's what this is. Librarians get really, really, really bored, and so they gotta start dreaming up stuff to do. And if the ghost isn't Louise Carpenter, it's a gentle ghost, so my coaxing or insulting wouldn't really do any good, you know? Just kind of chill, not worry about it.
Just random.
Did you go over and check it out? You gonna go check it out? Okay. Alright, so let's go. Let's check this out. I think that's a book.
What's that?
What?
Did you find anything?
Yeah. Check this out.
Where was it at?
Well, I don't know how in the world they got on the floor, because it came from right here, and it was about 4 feet away.
Are you serious?
Well, it was like, you know, it's like, what, 5 feet?
But 5 feet, like it didn't just fall.
Well, no, this is, McGruffy's Eclectic Reader. You want to look at this book?
No.
Fine. Will you tell me how old this book is?
Nope.
So you weren't actually in the Peacock room or anything, yeah?
That's where it started, and I heard something like a chair rocking or something.
So let's go over here and see what's going on with this record chair. What's going on with the music?
Zach.
What?
You hurry up.
Nah, it apparently jumped up, you know? It apparently jumped up.
Huh?
It apparently jumped up.
For what?
To like 9.
When?
Just now, just for like split. It's chilling at like 0 right now, but you know, whatever, you know, I don't know.
Alright, well, I feel really good to me.
You know, I'm
get
not...
out. I just want to get out of here.
You don't want to hang out? You want to leave?
Yeah, I want to leave.
You seriously want to go?
I want to leave. I've had enough. I want to get out of here.
It's cool. Let's go. Apparently, Lisa was haunted.
I heard a book, sound like a book, fly across and hit something. I wanted to get out of there. I'm not sure if it was a ghost or not, but a lot of things happened that were unexplainable.
The meters obviously measured something. The book was really old, as if it might have been from the era that these people lived. If it was Louise Carpenter, it would make sense that she was trying to let people know that she was there, she wasn't going anywhere. And it was her library.
Will Nicole and her friends find that the forces of good or evil remain at an old Pennsylvania church?
Oh my God.
Even in the 100.
Look.
Oh my God.
That's after.
Start taking pictures.
There seem to be many strange forces in conflict at Pennsylvania's Depreciation Lands Museum.
So far, the ghost of the deacon has managed to keep the evil spirits at bay. But when you deal with the restless dead, nothing is certain.
When me and some of my friends decided to check out a haunted museum, we had no idea what we were getting into.
The bell would ring. No one was in the area at the time.
And it seemed like someone was banging on the window trying to get in or out. We did encounter the deacon. Hi, I'm Nicole, and I'm from Allison Park, which is north of Pittsburgh. Me and all of our friends got really interested in a ghost named Deacon who was living at the Depreciation Lands Museum. The story's told that the deacon watched over the museum.
It's a local mystery if he's real or not, and we wanted to see for ourselves.
I thought, well, maybe the deacon is there, but I still was pretty skeptical. I really believe in spirits and supernatural and paranormal activity.
The Depreciation Lands Museum deals with pioneer life in western Pennsylvania in the late 1700s and early 1800s. There was a long and bloody conflict in the area until 1794 when General Matt Anthony Wayne defeated the Indians at Battle of Fallen Timbers.
The church that we turned into the museum used to be located about a mile up the road. The cemetery that is associated with that church is from the 1800s.
I heard them talking about a ghost.
We have a spirit that we call the deacon.
That supposedly haunted the museum.
Tall figure with a dark coat.
He apparently was a member of the church.
Paranormal investigators had photographed weird things that they found there.
Orbs that ghost researchers say were the deacon.
The basic form of spirit energy is the spirit orb, and that is a glowing ball of energy. The larger the ball of energy, the more power it has to transform shape, such as turning into an ectoplasmic mist or trying to take on the shape of their once human form.
If these balls of energy have the power to change shapes,
What else do they have the power to do? Can they help people, or do they harm people? The only way for Nicole and her friends to find out is to go see the deacon.
could it be that a deacon who was charged in life
with looking over his flock is still tending to his work 100 years after death?
There was a girl, and it was fall, and she was in the cemetery, and she was walking. It was a pretty nice day. She sat down, and she was sitting there for a while. She wanted to get up. Felt like there was a hand or something on her keeping her from getting up. And it kept pushing her back down. She kept trying to get up and trying to get up.
When she finally was able to rise, she looked over her shoulder and noticed a snake slithering off into the cemetery. She realized what that pressure on her shoulder had been. It was the deacon protecting her from the snake.
A really strange thing happened to a group of girls who stayed at the museum overnight.
The children were sleeping on the floor in the annex,
And during the course of the night, ceiling tiles fell out of the ceiling and glided away from the children. Nobody was ever touched. Nobody was even disturbed. I'm sure the Deacon had something to do with it.
We decided we wanted to find if Deacon was real. We contacted paranormal investigators. They showed us how to use all the equipment. We borrowed a dowsing rod, digital camera, the electromagnetic field detectors, video cameras with night vision. We wanted to start off in the cemetery.
And try not to trip over any.
We decided to use the dowsing rod, the metal bar. You use it to detect magnetic fields, which are energy sources of spirit.
Okay, now it's completely turning.
When Maria actually used it, it began to spin, and that's a large sign that there's something there.
It's really doing a full turnaround. Doesn't look like there's any activity at all.
The four of us decided to separate so that we could cover more ground, and me and Krista went to the barn, and Maria and Fina decided that they were going to the log cabin.
It smells like fresh fire.
Do we have anything to test anything out in here?
Well, I have the thermo scanner. Everything was the same. I think the log cabin might be kind of boring. This is the carriage house we're going into.
Okay.
See if we can see anything.
Me and Krista, as soon as we walked in, we heard noises, like pounding noises and loud noises, but then they would stop. So we decided we would walk around the wagon and use our tools to see if we could find anything.
We're heading towards... Thank you. What was that? Those bells just rang.
Get the reading.
And we didn't touch it. There's no reading, but those bells...
By the bells.
We did not touch the bells, and they just went off. Take a picture of the bell.
I didn't get anything.
And there was another noise.
We decided to stay together because we were really scared.
We should probably go into the church.
Okay. Everyone has their flashlights on?
Yeah. Oh, it's dark here.
We started off in the basement.
That candy there is where my brother said he saw it moving. No. Keep up with it, please.
As we began to investigate with the magnetic field detectors, they began to show some ratings of energy.
Oh my God. Even in the hundreds.
Oh my God.
There's definitely something
Start
here.
taking pictures.
Take pictures, Nicole. There's definitely something here.
Okay.
The 3 range. It is. Still in the 3 range. It's around Fina. Whether it's the Deacon, I don't know.
Still
up there? Like you can hold it in.
It quickly disappeared.
I'm not seeing anything back
there.
We lost it, whatever it was. It's gone.
That was creepy. I believe that all the technology we were using was going to be accurate and help us in our search to find Deacon. I believe that the Deacon was there and that other spirits are there too, and that the Deacon is there to protect people from the other spirits.